Hi, my name's Layla, and I want to tell you what God did in my life. So growing up, my parents were never really around. I didn't really know them for about the first 7 or 8 years of my life. I was in and out with living with grandparents and their friends and all that stuff. And it was pretty rough because you look around and all your friends have their parents around and they have good relationships with them, but I never really did, and I felt like maybe that made me like weird or not like the other kids. And around my first year of middle school, I felt super depressed and I carried so much guilt and shame, and I surrounded myself with people that didn't have God in their lives and weren't God-centered, and that led me to believing lies about myself. And then my 7th grade year, I finally moved schools and I started talking to my mom again, and I actually ended up moving in with her my 7th grade year. And I was blessed enough to find a decent group of friends, and I actually found a church that I started going to. But going there, I just felt so alone, and I felt like nobody there wanted me to be there, and I just couldn't find the relationship with God that I wanted to have. So I thought that maybe He just didn't want a relationship with me. So I eventually gave up on trying to find that. And then came my 8th grade year, where everything changed for me. The beginning of 8th grade, my friend Braden invited me to church, me and my friend Peyton. I was pretty hesitant to come at first because I thought maybe it would just be the same thing as last church. You know, I didn't felt like I belonged there. So I finally decided to come, and it was great. I felt so much joy and peace there, and I felt loved by all the people that I was surrounded with, and also by God for the first time. And they taught me how to worship and how to truly surrender to God, and it was just so fun. I still carried so much guilt and shame from my past and so many burdens, and it was just so hard for me to let go of them and to really just give it all to the Lord. But then came church camp, and that was a big change for me. I remember on the first night of church camp, I kneeled down at the altar and I just poured out everything I had to God. And in that moment, I fully surrendered my heart to God, and I could just feel the Holy Spirit around me. And I just felt so much peace and so much joy. And I could feel all those burdens being lifted off of me in that moment. And I've never felt so happy in my life, and it was just a wonderful experience. So I came home and I felt so much joy and peace because I know that my worth doesn't come from people, it comes from God. And I just want to thank the people at Amplify who have been with me through this journey, helping me get this relationship with God. And I want to thank all the people that have prayed with me and all the people that have made me feel so welcomed here, and that's my story.